Good morning, first graders, and happy Friday. I'm so glad to see y'all on this sunny morning. So, today is Friday. Can you find my date, please? We are getting towards the very end of May. My date is May 29th, and my day of the week is Friday. Can you tell me which month is coming next after May? The next month is June, and that means we have just 2 more weeks of school or online learning. All right, let's read our morning message. Good morning, first graders. It is Friday, May 29th. I added another sentence in our morning message. It is our last YouTube video. The word of the day is, can you read that? It has a vowel team, O-U. Proud. Proud. That is our word of the day because I am so proud of y'all for watching these videos and learning on your own and with your family over these past few weeks. So the sentence was, it is our last YouTube video, sadly, because the next 2 weeks of school in June, we are going to be doing fun theme days. So you can participate in those. We're gonna have Space Day and Disney Day and a bunch of other fun days that you can do and work at your home. All right, so today is going to be different than our other videos. All we're gonna do, we're gonna take it easy and relaxed. We are going to do a small writing prompt, so you need paper and something to write with. And then I'm gonna share and read to y'all one of my favorite stories ever. And we didn't get to read it in class together, so I wanted to take some time and read it with y'all this morning. All right, so you're gonna need a piece of paper right now. I want you to write, and I would love for it to be at least 3 sentences. If you can do more, that would be great. Of what you've enjoyed about online learning or learning at home. All right, let me say that one more time. You are going to write on a piece of paper with either a pencil or a marker or anything you have what you have enjoyed about online learning and learning at home. So you're going to definitely need to pause the video and think about some things that you've liked over the past few weeks. All right, pause the video now. All right, if you want to share this writing prompt with me, you can ask your parents to take a picture and send it to me over email if you want me to read it. I wanted to review with y'all though. After you write, you really need to make sure, now that you're almost at the end of first grade, that you're really writing in a complete sentence. So this was an example sentence that maybe you wrote about. You got to play outside more. Let's see. I liked playing outside at my house, because you have gotten a lot more outside time than at school, right? All right, so I have my 3 stars, and this is something you can do at the end of every paper or writing prompt you do to help yourself check. It's very important that you check for your 3 stars. All right, so do I have an uppercase? I do. My sentence starts with I and it's uppercase, so I can check my first star off. Remember, the second star is space. Do I have finger space between my words? Yes, that is important. So anyone reading your paper, they can see that the words aren't jumbled up, that they make sense. There's space. Great job. And my 3rd star, do you remember what that is? An ending mark. If we just wrote a bunch of sentences without ending marks, it would just look like a bunch of words, and someone reading your paper wouldn't know where to stop at the end of a sentence. So I have a period. I could have done an exclamation mark if I wanted to read this excited, but this isn't a question mark sentence, is it? It's definitely a period sentence. So I have all 3 of my stars, uppercase, space, and an ending mark. Like I said, it's really important to practice this at your house. Even though we would do this in school, I hope you're practicing that at home. All right, great job writing today. So now you're gonna take a break, relax, and listen to one of my favorite stories. Now, it is a little bit of an older story. I've loved this story ever since I was little, and I love reading it with my classes. And usually we read it towards the springtime, but we weren't together in person, so I wanted to read this on our last YouTube video. The title is Sylvester and the Magic Pebble. Now this is definitely a fiction story, and you're going to see things like talking animals and some magic happening, so you're going to be able to tell it's fiction, but there is a lesson in this story that we can learn, and William Steig, the author, is definitely going to have a theme for us at the end to learn from. All right, let's get started. Sylvester and the Magic Pebble by William Steig. Also, friends, this is kind of a long story, so you have to pay attention. It's pretty long. Sylvester Duncan lived with his mother and father at Acorn Road in Oaksdale. One of his hobbies was collecting pebbles of unusual shape and color. So a hobby is something you do for fun. So Sylvester loved collecting pebbles. Pebbles are kind of like rocks, smaller, pretty rocks. And the illustrations are very big and beautiful. They almost look like watercolor paints. On a rainy Saturday during vacation, he found a quite extraordinary one. It was flaming red, shiny, and perfectly round like a marble. Ooh, those were some good adjectives to describe that pebble. Red, shiny, round, those were. As he was studying this remarkable pebble, he began to shiver, probably from excitement, and the rain felt cold on his back. "I wish it would stop raining," he said. To his great surprise, the rain stopped. It didn't stop gradually as rain usually does. It ceased. The drops vanished on the way down. The clouds disappeared. Everything was dry, and the sun was shining as if the rain had never even existed. Wow, y'all. Look, raining the one second and then perfectly sunny the next. How did that happen? In all of his young life, Sylvester had never had a wish gratified so quickly. That means a wish granted so quickly. It struck him that magic must be at work, and he guessed that the magic must be in the remarkable looking red pebble on the ground. Oh, to make a test, he put the pebble on the ground and said, so he's testing, let's see if this pebble is actually magic. "I wish it would rain again." Nothing happened. But when he said the same thing, holding the pebble in his hoof, the sky turned black. There was lightning and a clap of thunder, and rain came shooting down. "What a lucky day this is," thought Sylvester. "From now on, I can have anything I want. My father and mother can have anything they want, and my relatives, my friends, and anybody at all can have anything anybody wants." Remember, so with his little test, Sylvester found that he had to hold the pebble in his hand. It didn't work on the ground, so it's a magic pebble that works if you're touching it. So now he's very excited. I would be excited too, thinking about everything I could get for myself and my family and all of my friends. So I kind of understand how Sylvester's feeling. He wished the sunshine back in the sky, and he wished a wart on his left hind fetlock would disappear. And it did. And he started home, eager to amaze his father and mother with his magic pebble. He could hardly wait to see their faces. Maybe they wouldn't even believe him at first. That's true. You would probably have to prove it to your parents. As he was crossing Strawberry Hill, thinking of some of the many, many things he could wish for, he was startled, that means scared, to see a mean, hungry lion looking right at him from behind some tall grass. He was frightened. If he hadn't been so frightened, he could have made the lion disappear, or he could have wished himself back at home with his father and mother. Or what else could he have wished for, friends? He could have wished for him to be in another place, like he said. He could have wished for the lion to turn into a cat. He could have wished a lot of things, don't you think? What if you were Sylvester, what would you wish for to get the lion away? Let's see what he actually does. He could have wished the lion would turn into a butterfly or a daisy or just a gnat. He could have wished many things, but he panicked and he could not think carefully. "I wish I were a rock," he said, and he became a rock. The lion came bounding over, sniffed the rock 100 times, walked around and around it, and went away, very confused, perplexed, puzzled, and bewildered. "I saw that little donkey as clear as day. Maybe I'm going crazy," he muttered. So the lion is very confused, but y'all, Sylvester is now a rock, a giant rock. And there was Sylvester, a rock on Strawberry Hill, with the magic pebble lying right beside him on the ground, and he was unable to pick it up. "Oh, how I wish I were myself again," he thought, but nothing happened. He had to be touching the pebble to make the magic work, but there was nothing he could do about that. If you can see, the pebble is right there, but definitely not touching him. His thoughts began to race like mad. He was scared and worried. Being helpless, he felt hopeless. He imagined all the possibilities. Eventually, he realized that his only chance of becoming himself again was for someone to find the red pebble and to wish that the rock next to it would be a donkey. Someone would surely find the red pebble. It was so bright and shiny. But what on earth would make them wish that a rock were a donkey? The chance was 1 in a billion at best, so he's starting to feel really sad, y'all. Sylvester fell asleep. What else could he do? Night came with so many stars. Oh no, y'all. Meanwhile, back at home, Mr. and Mrs. Duncan paced the floor, frantic with worry. Sylvester had never come home later than dinner time. Where could he be? So y'all, if you didn't come home after playing outside, I'm sure your parents would be very worried too. Where could he be? They stayed up all night wondering what had happened, expecting that Sylvester would surely turn up by morning, but he didn't. Of course, Ms. Duncan cried a lot, and Mr. Duncan did his best to soothe her. Both longed to have their dear son with them. "I will never scold Sylvester again as long as I live," said Mrs. Duncan, "no matter what he does." At dawn, they went inquiring of all the neighbors. So they're asking all of the neighbors if they've seen him. They're so worried. They talked to all the children, the puppies, the kittens, the colts, and the piglets, but no one had seen Sylvester since the day before yesterday. They're trying their very best. They went to the police. The police could not find their child. So all these different people in the town are looking, but it would be very hard to find someone that was a rock, right? They don't know that that's Sylvester. Whoa. All the dogs in Oaksdale were looking for him. They sniffed behind every rock and tree and blade of grass, into every nook and gully of the neighborhood and beyond, but not a scent of him. They sniffed the rock on Strawberry Hill, but it smelled like a rock. It didn't smell like Sylvester. All of these dogs are trying. After a month of searching, wow, that's a very long time. The same places over and over again, and inquiring all the same animals over and over again, Mr. and Mrs. Duncan no longer knew what to do. They concluded that something dreadful or really bad must have happened, and that they would probably never see their son again, though all the time he was less than a mile away. So this is the part of the story that's really sad, but we're getting closer to the ending. They tried their best to be happy, to go about their usual ways, but their usual ways included Sylvester, and they were always reminded of him. They were miserable. Life had no meaning for them anymore. Aw, if you can see, the mom has a tear coming out. The illustrator really showed how sad the mom and dad were. Night followed day, and day followed night, over and over again. Sylvester on the hill woke up less and less often. When he was awake, he was only hopeless and unhappy. Yeah, I would be pretty sad and unhappy if I was just a rock sitting there. He felt he would be a rock forever, and he tried to get up, and he tried to get used to it, He went into an endless sleep. The days grew colder. Fall came with the leaves changing. Then the leaves fell, and the grass bent to the ground. Whoa, and I see another season. We are going to stop here. We are going to finish this. I just have to have another video because this video is getting a little bit too long. So click on the next link right under this link and we'll finish the story.